the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, is beginning to hint about a price increase of the entire brand, which means higher priced consoles, more expensive accessories, games themselves going up in cost, and even Game Pass possibly seeing a price hike. But I find this to be very shocking, to be honest. I mean, I kind of expected that's the way that Xbox would try and catch up to the console sales of the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5 by straight up cheaping them. Being the best deal in gaming is going to make you fly off store shelves. But I want to take a look at his official statement and when we're probably going to see this price increase take place. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I was actually in a bike wreck literally 30 seconds ago and I noticed my ear is bleeding and my wrist is bleeding. But okay. Anyways, it's time to discuss the deliciousness. This is a quote that was just transcribed by Tom Warren over on Twitter. Phil Spencer was talking on the Wall Street Journal live stream, and he said that it's time to discuss the future of Xbox Game Pass and console prices because they could go up. I do think that at some point we'll have to raise the prices on certain things, but going into this holiday, we thought it was important to maintain these prices. He says here, we've held prices on our consoles, we've held prices on our games, and we've held prices on subscriptions. I don't think we'll be able to do that forever. I do think at some point we'll have to raise some prices on certain things. Now, to me, I think this is probably going to be about consoles and games first. Now, of course, Phil Spencer is attempting to be at least slightly vague because he is an industry leader. Even if you don't like, Phil Spencer's actions or the way he talks, I think it's very clear two things at once. Phil Spencer is honestly pretty direct for a guy in his position, and also he does have to be careful with his official statements. Everything he says is basically an official proclamation from Microsoft. So he has to be careful when he says, okay, we're increasing this price, we're cutting this price, we're releasing this game. And I think that Phil Spencer is going to probably announce a across-the-board price increase coming up early next year. After they've managed to sell a bunch of Xbox Series X and S at these cheap prices over the course of this holiday, I think they're probably going to say, all right, Game Pass is getting a price increase. The games are going up to $70 across the board. Controllers are probably going to cost $80. And I think they're probably going to do something to sort of like chill out our fears by doing something like making Xbox Live Gold completely free, which has been rumored forever. I mean, playing online at this point is such a fundamental minimum of these consoles. I do think the fact that we even still get charged to play online, like the fact that Nintendo Switch charges you $2 a month, it doesn't even make sense. It's bad for business. I don't know, it just looks funky. But here's the other part of this that to me is incredibly interesting from the same live stream. Phil Spencer confirms that Xbox Game Pass is in fact profitable for Microsoft. It's around 15% of their total gaming revenue for Microsoft. I think it's safe to say that I think it will stay in that 10 to 15% of our overall revenue, and for us, that's profitable. Now, this is an interesting statement because there has been a lot of debate from the raw numbers that Microsoft themselves have reported. They have said that Game Pass has generated billions of dollars, but we didn't know how much of that was actually profit, how much of that is overhead, how much of that is just liquefying money to become the next major acquisition. We didn't know if this really was becoming money. I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again someday, but it's still just kind of, I don't know, a little bit strange that this number isn't higher. I mean, Xbox Game Pass seems to be so ubiquitous. I do not know a single Xbox owner that doesn't have Xbox Game Pass. I mean, why not? If you already have the expensive multiple hundreds of dollars console, why don't you want every single Microsoft game? Don't you want access to Gears of War and Halo and Forza and all that? You know, it just seems bonkers that this isn't closer to 20% or 30%. Now, that's me being a layman looking at this business, but there's another part of this which says that we are seeing incredible growth on PC. On consoles, I've seen that growth slow down, mainly because at some point you've reached everybody on console that wants to subscribe. Now, of course, technically this makes perfect sense, but it does feel like there's an unsaid portion to this statement, which is saying like eventually everybody that wants to subscribe has subscribed. I think the unspoken portion of this is there has been a lot of conversation about people unsubscribing from Xbox Game Pass. I mean, I guess at some point you play the games you want on the service and you're getting nothing out of it. Especially, I mean, there has been a big drought of Xbox games. I'm not being a hater. I'm not attacking Xbox, but let's face it. What's the major AAA release for this year? For the entirety of the year, literally all of 2022, what's the major Xbox game? I don't know. I'm literally racking my brain. They've had some great third-party stuff. A lot of big, cool games are coming to Game Pass. I'm not going to act like Game Pass has not been worth it, but they don't have that big, marquee, AAA marketing game that's going to get people excited for it. Like, I don't think I've seen anything in the Xbox ecosystem generating the hype of something like Gran Turismo 7 or The Last of Us remake or Horizon Forbidden West or God of War Ragnarok or even weird stuff like Stray, the little teeny tiny cat game. Where is the hype that Microsoft Game Pass has been generating in 2022? Not a lot, and I think that is causing them to shrink a tiny bit. I still believe that Microsoft wants to keep things as cheap as possible. When the PS5 got its price increase, it was like $50, I think, right? So $50 price increase. I would imagine that Xbox is probably going to stay in that ballpark. I think going from the $300 Xbox Series S all the way up to a $350 Xbox Series S. And I think they'll probably do the same with the Series X, making it go from $550 or up to $550. But I think they'll probably try and soften the blow somewhat by, I don't know, maybe making some sort of pack-in where when you buy these new consoles, you get 6 months of free Game Pass. My biggest question is how much are they going to increase the price of Game Pass? Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. That's the biggest selling point of it, is that it's absolutely worth every single penny you spend on it, whether it is Xbox Game Pass for console or PC. I guess I'm just curious, is it going to go up $5 a month? Is it going to go up $20 a month? We really can't quite imagine yet. Going into 2023, there's a lot of Microsoft games lined up. Xbox is getting games like Redfall and Starfield and another Forza game, of course. I think that is going to generate a lot of hype and a lot of console sales and a ton of net profit. The question is, when does that price hike show up? And will that damper this hype cycle? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and please keep dreaming and subscribe. And this bike wreck did hurt. I'm going to go clean my stupid wounds. Oh my God. Oh, that's so raw. Okay, I'm done. I'm done complaining. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.